consideration?
Some people have, no, we've gone beyond, and then we immediately go into background on them. For example, we may call somebody, you're gonna, when you pick 5, I always ask you to have, by the way, have a bullpen. You know, let's have somebody to call in case, and usually there's a 6th and 7th candidate that look really good to you. And you're going, you know what, if one of these drops out, call in candidate 6, or if 2 drop out, call in candidate 7. So I'd like to have those in reserve, and yes, we do start a process with them to make sure that they're up to speed that we can bring in. Great, but yeah. And oftentimes, somebody will be offered a job or something else and they can't make it. So you get a second packet from us. And this one, again, has information, but what we supply you with are interview questions for each candidate. Most of the questions are the same. There's a couple that are different, because you'll get a question from their reference check and from the personality profile. We also, all their background information, reference report, and everything else is also included in this. This all comes to you. If you decide you want to change your question or not, we can go through that and go ahead and do that, but you'll get this several days before the interviews. So it's all set up along with the scoring system. And the other thing that, if you decide to have staff interviews, we provide those as well, or a community interview panel, we provide those as well.
I think the last time we did 3, we did council, community, and staff, and then they blended those, you know, together.
Yeah, and so what we try to do is make sure that it's a turnkey for you. That every step of the process is something that we hold your hand through. Not everybody here hires people all the time, we do it all the time.
So do you recommend panel interviews or individual interviews?
Both.
Okay.
And I'll go through,
Okay.
maybe on the next, go ahead and go through background checks. The other thing I wanted to talk a little bit, no, go ahead. And then I do a profile on each candidate, and next slide. And what I've done here is map out sort of where candidates are, how their profiles are being distributed. So I've started some research to show what kind of individuals are attracted to this profession and what strengths do they have. And the blue is more sort of the analytical fiscal traits. Green is the traits associated with teamwork and doing it together, sort of a calm demeanor, keeping people included in the process. Yellow is very sociable and what I would call the natural speaker, the natural individuals who are very comfortable going out in the public. And red, including the 4 and 3 there, sorry, I'm a little colorblind, is more of the let's get it done now.
Aggressive.
Very aggressive, and they get a little what do I want to say, bored in city work or frustrated because
Lost.
things don't get. I shouldn't say bored, but things don't.
That'll be me.
Yeah.
They've already told me that'll be
right?
me.
So, all right. And then the interviewing 2-day process,
Thanks, Bob.
and there you see it, Michael. You see the one-on-one interviews. We do one-on-one group social interaction and provide the questions and assessment assistance at the end of it.
One-on-one is individual council members or the mayor actually meets with each of the 5 or 6, however you choose. One-on-one, and it's more of a get to know that person, and that's an opportunity for the candidate to tell you things about themselves that you normally wouldn't even ask in an interview, but they will probably divulge that to you as a part of their effort to let you know who they are and why they're interested.
Kitchen table.
Kitchen table, right?
Type of.
We think you learn a lot about a candidate from that sort of thing. I think one of the other things that Richard didn't mention, when we propose to you that you do staff or community leader interviews, and these are blended, but they're not blended in terms of those groups give you any rankings. We prefer that they don't rank candidates for you, but rather they tell you what their perception of strengths and weaknesses are. Because we don't want any of these groups to be at odds with a council decision. We just want them to give you help in pointing out what they see about candidates.
They're great point. All right, and at the end, we help you negotiate. We've done a lot of these, and that can be a landmine. And, go ahead, Nick. I'm just gonna wrap up here. The final thing we do, if you choose to, is help you onboard. And what that means is to bring the individual in, go through specifically what goals that you would anticipate that they would have. How are we gonna measure those? How does the council wanna be communicated with? If there are staff issues, what are they? It's really outlining for the individual coming in, the culture, any kind of potential landmines, and the process that you like to follow. Research has shown it takes over 6 months before a person is even to the point where they're worth, they've earned their first dollar, if you will. And we try and shorten that time period from 6 months down to about a month. So they're active and participating right away. So, otherwise they're gonna come in, staff acts weird, you act weird, we all act weird, when we first building that relationship, you know, that's the way it is. And we try to shorten that time period. And then finally, 6 months later, we'll come in and conduct a review. Now, I've done a lot of speaking, and any questions that you have?
Are we on time?
You're doing good. You're about 5 minutes.
Do you provide us with some guidelines of things in an interview that we can and cannot ask? Because I think everybody comes from different backgrounds. My background, we're pretty familiar with, things that you can't ask. But do you do that for us as a group so that we hit
Yeah.
that?
Thank you. Heat it up for
Okay.
me, so I'll hit it. One of the things we provide is instructional on what
Okay.
to avoid in
Okay.
an interview. And we go over that with you as well. But when you get this packet, interview packet it will not only have the questions written for you, it will also say if you go off the radar, here's what to avoid.
Yeah.
One of the other things, in the selection of finalists, when you're presented with the initial 10 to 12 candidates, the packet that's given to you, everybody is numbered, and you have an open meeting discussion in the selection of those candidates, so the media is there. Because you don't have the capability at that point to go into a closed session. But you don't identify these candidates by name yet. What you do is basically pick the 5 that you want. Then, part of that notification process and getting approval from the candidates for, the credentials, background check, and everything else, is the recognition that this will now go public. Once the 5 interviewees are selected, or 6, however many, that becomes public information. We also will help you with press releases to your local media on what information you want to have out there. I mean, we try to work with the media because obviously there's a great deal of community interest in this. So we don't want to be at odds with them through the
So
process.
now, will there be a name, but whenever we discuss, we would say candidate 1 or candidate A?
You will know who that
but
is.
we'll have a name.
Right.
Yeah, just like your packet in front of you, and
Okay.
you'll know everything about them.
Yeah.
But you'll refer to them by number.
Okay.
Now, the last time, and I don't think I can't remember, one of them, they said when they brought the 8 to 10 or whatever, they actually had recorded their individual interviews with those people. And I think we got an opportunity to maybe watch those. So I thought we did last time.
They did like a Skype thing or something, that they did a little tape of themselves, introduce themselves.
Oh, yeah, that was it, yes.
Yeah.
It's part of the process.
It's kind of a dating service for,
Somebody who doesn't need it,
Yeah,
who's
it
gonna
was
take.
Video.
They just kinda did about a 5-minute, this is who I am.
This is who I am.
So
Yeah.
you could,
It's not something we do,
Okay.
is do a recording and then put it through. There's a certain amount of bias that happens in that. I happen to like it, but, the research shows that there's a certain amount of bias when
mhm.
it really, I would hope through the information that's provided, you'd be able to assess through their skills, through their resume, through what they've been able to do. After all, as we all know, at this age, or at this stage, and age, is that past performance is the best indicator of future performance, and so that's what we really try to point out. But I do like it. It's
I
another
know
tool.
now you can't
I
mean, I tend, if I get a picture anymore, I just rip it off because you're not, I mean, technically you can't.
And that is something that we talk to candidates about too. Some candidates, in some instances, they wanted them because people tend to go to the internet now and look up, you'll get the candidate and then you'll Google them and then you go on and then there's the most unflattering picture you've ever seen in your life of the individual. And so I say, well, sometimes it can be better to have a professional headshot than it is to have a shot of you in the dunk tank.
So when you do how many people, you say you get 40 people to apply, and we first get that information, at that point, we don't have a name or anything, because aren't you legally not supposed to have age, sex, any of that type of thing that tells you who the person is until after you get to a certain stage of interviewing,
No,
or?
we never go into their age.
Okay.
And,
Marital status,
Yeah.
anything like that.
Okay, yeah, I thought there were some restrictions legally.
It's pretty obvious most of the time, gender, but obviously there's no bias
Okay.
at any given point. And we always discourage any kind of bias. Sometimes we'll hear from a council member, I really hope we get a woman this time, or really hope we get a man this time, or something like that. And I go, let it play out. I don't wanna be heavy-handed, and at the same time, I wanna remind us that, we have laws, and let's leave that bias at home.
Yeah.
Are there more women in the profession? It seemed like even 4 years ago, that was kind of a non-existent. Has that increased over the last?
Quite a bit.
Okay.
I would say my first 3 years, yeah, no kidding, it's great news. My first 3 years, we were getting, very few women applicants, and then recently, we've actually, have placed a number of women.
One just up the road.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Owen's,
Owen,
yeah.
and
And you
she's
have
still-
one now in Center Point, just south of you.
And, so yes,